We're going to do a prayer after we read our scriptures. So if you would like to join me. I'm having a good day today, and I'm glad that I'm able to be here doing this right now. Definitely. I'm a really happy kid. Yeah. Um, I have a lot of things to be happy about right now. Really happy I can say that. Sticky in my ear. But yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm really happy to be a part of this journey, to be a part of us. The Lord is definitely taking advantage of the fact that we've decided to be more vulnerable in front of people right now. This is new for us. It's not like I don't cry in front of people, but it's just not always really our thing. You know, it's good to let people know how you're feeling, but um, why is this not staying in my ear? Are my ears crying too? But yeah, it's good to let people know how you feel. It's even really good to cry when you need to, especially if that means letting other people see you cry. However, uh, it is seen as unstable sometimes, and I think that we really need to change that aspect of life. Uh, Crying is a beautiful thing, it's a healthy thing. There's so many lyrics coming to my head right now. There's no music playing. Um, it's just easier to hold the headphones like this. But lyrics from Lizzo, where she's like, I look pretty crying. And that's super true. And J. Cole, acting hard. And soon we start to feel hard. And I'm like, that is so interesting. We've been put in this world to act like we are not who we are. That's really the most simple way to put it. We had to learn how to survive, how to keep people from hurting us, which is funny because then we go straight into things that hurt us and stay there. But then we learned how to love and how to be loved, and that requires you to show emotion. And this is coming from someone who's Straight up, I'm stoic. Like, tsundere is a term used by the Japanese. I don't know if it's by like specifically Japanese people or just in general, like anime, where you love something or someone, but you choose to act like you don't because of the emotional immaturity towards intimacy or like facing yourself. Basically, like, I don't like him. Those types of things. We do that a lot here in America as well, but not to the same extent. It's not as cute. But I've learned that that really is my nature. Like, I'm used to being the person that everybody decides to make the bad guy. And so, like, in my workspace, that was pretty much where I grew up, learning how to be a better me. And it was really hard for me because I struggled a lot with depression around that time in general. But it was simply because I didn't understand that people didn't see things the way that I did. So when I thought that we were closer than we were, they didn't see it the same way. And that really made me sad because I'm like, was it really not worth even having this conversation with you? Or, like, why am I always the person that people decide that they want to come see when they're bored? Or why am I the person that they want to come and see because I'm the last person that they want to come and see? And then at some point, I became the person that everybody wanted to see first, but yet I became the scapegoat. And that caused me to have some type of martyrdom. That makes sense. Where I felt like I was the victim because all I really wanted was my friends and family supporting me, even with their words, if nothing else, with their energy, really. So I've learned how to love people differently and more completely, and I love that. And that takes its own evolution as I get more. I wanted to say older, but it's really not about how old you are. I'm only 26. Funny story, I had to remember that I was 26 the other day. I was signing a paper and I had to use the calculator to see what age I would be turning this year in order to find out how old I am. So that was funny. But yeah, it's not about age, it's about energy, how fast your energy moves, how mature your energy is. So please stop treating people like children and stop treating older people like they know everything because they don't. I respect that you've seen life a lot, but you have not seen everything because apparently you really haven't seen me. And I think that's really interesting. And we can always learn, all of us, we can always learn to be better. And so learning how to express your emotions, learning to to accept that you may not be correct in a situation is a very powerful transformation in your world, and it catapults you to bigger and better things. And I think that is simply the most beautiful thing about life. So why would you want to belittle your own life experience by allowing others to make you look like you know more when you don't, and to make them feel like you don't know anything when you know a lot more than you are letting people know? I could keep my mouth shut, but nobody would learn anything. I wouldn't learn anything. This is my life too. It doesn't matter what you think about it. My life comes before yours in my life because that's the way you help people. That's the way it should go. Selfishness is not a bad thing if you know what you're doing. Self love is the best love. And that is a line from, oh, I think the song is actually called Self Love. And it has Ari Lennox in it. But I forget who else it is. But I love the voices in that song. So if you haven't heard that song, look it up. Self love and perfection. Perfection itself. We strive to be something that we don't know what perfection looks like. But the fact that we try to strive for it is simply because we are it. But we cannot be it if we do not accept all the things that come and go within perfection. I am perfect. I will say that without batting an eye. And I will say that, and it is not a lie. Genuinely, I cannot tell you otherwise because that would be an infringement on my very truth. I am perfect. And it is simply because I wear my flaws on my arms. I was going to say sleeves, like I normally do, but I am not wearing sleeves currently. So, excuse me. Excuse me. So, I just wanted to point that out because that's important going forward. You who are against everything that I just said genuinely may be holding yourself back in your own life, and that's something that you need to look at yourself and calmly speak to yourself about. The dark parts of you are not scary, and that's coming from someone who is very much in the light and very much comfortable in my light. I'm not a sinner anymore. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to say. And I will not allow anybody else to make me feel otherwise because I know what God has in my own life. I was going to say has for me, but it's been more than that. And I've been belittling myself by not feeling like I'm doing enough in my own physical world because people don't like that there is no money in my hand, or a lot of people think that I shouldn't be in this situation in general, and why would I choose to be here? And they're like, you had it all, why did you give it away? I worked at a minimum wage job for 6 years and they didn't pay me what I was owed, but I was happy with it because I was making more money than my mom, and I was making more money than I wouldn't say than I needed, because if that were the case I would not have worked so much, but I worked often, a lot, like over 45 hours a week. And if I could do so more than that, I had a lot of fun doing it because I just loved being there. It was a part of my path. I was very passionate about it. That was the only reason why I was there. I was very passionate about that job, the people in it, the food, the everything. And the only time I didn't like it was when people from outside of the store tried to come in and regulate it, like they worked there or something. Like they work there or something. I don't care. I'm not gonna say the name because I forgot the name of the person, and then his name straight up came in my head. But everybody that it was funny because his name is funny too. And every time he would pop up, we would be like, "He's here," and then immediately I would start doing stuff the way that he wanted me to do it, so that I didn't have to hear him speak because I just did not care. It was easier to just let it happen, get him out of the way. And if I didn't need to be there for that as well, I'm gonna help in the kitchen because you're not gonna talk to me about dough. I don't care. I don't care. But I am happy that he was passionate about it, but they literally made that job up for him because he needed something else to do. But like get a hobby, do something you really like. Be passionate about the things that you really like. Not trying to, you know, fix something that ain't broken. Our dough was better than every other store that ever. Our dough was better, and then they started doing all this extra science stuff, and I'm just like, my goodness, there's so much extraness. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Like I said, if you take things that I say and you demonize them, go ahead and do that. However, do that for your own health. Do that for yourself. And make sure that when you look at yourself in the mirror, that you can clearly say, I am perfect, and understand why. It's not because I don't have flaws. It's because my flaws are the only thing that you can really see. And I'm not hiding them. And I'm not being extra for no reason. So when I'm wearing my flaws on the outside, I look perfect and I'm able to compose myself differently too, handle different things in different ways. And honestly, that scares people. And I think it's funny because, like I said, I'm a very honest person. It don't mean I'll tell you everything. I'm very honest, so I have to say what I need to say and no more, right? So that being said, that makes me more of a mysterious person because people can't figure me out when I'm spelling it out right in front of you. So I like to give people a little bit of something that whatever it needs to be said, and then after that, I like to see what they do with it because I'm not trying to break nobody's brain because I don't think of things like them being a really big deal. But I acknowledge how a lot of things that are simple things, more simple things, that may be a bigger deal than they need to be for them. And that's okay because we're all on different paths and journeys. However, the energy is that you cannot stay in your little mental cubby space that you used to be in order to move forward in life. So if you don't believe in the divine, I'm a big advocate for just saying God, and that's a really big important deal because when it all translates down to it is God. It's nothing more or less. However, we all have different ways of worshiping the Lord, and you do have to know who it is that you're worshiping. And I really do get offended and irritated when people look down on my God because I do magic, because of what the Bible says. However, you don't get to where I've been and where I am and look like I do and know what I know by worshiping something that is not the light. And if you worship the light, you worship God. And God Himself will tell you exactly what it is that you need to be paying attention to. Um, there are a lot of people that, primarily controversy. All right, so it's like a little warning, like controversy. A lot of people like to, worship Lucifer instead because they didn't like that God threw him out of heaven because of what he did, and then there are angels that follow him and all this stuff. And we've all seen Supernatural. I didn't watch all of it because it started to get repetitive. Somebody dies at the end, somebody's not dead in the beginning, something, something, something. It just never works out for those kids. And it just got more and more depressing. So I might finish that in the future, but we'll see how that goes. But they, worship Lucifer instead. And I think it's interesting because Lucifer himself is actually reincarnated here as well. And he is having a human experience just like Jesus is. And they are also listening to exactly what I am saying because God helped me find these people. I've met a couple of other characters from the Bible. I've told a story about one. He gonna have to figure some things out. And one person I've not confirmed if that's him or not. So that's neither here nor there. But when the people that I met that worship Lucifer, they were worshiping him because of his good intentions toward the world and toward man in general. Like their understanding of it was positive intentions. And I could see their spirit and I could understand that they were really happy about the light that is being given to them. However, I also understood that the whole reason why they did not say that they worshiped God was because they wanted to be on the side of love. They got that part, twisted in translation. And that's not a bad thing because they're already geared towards love and light. So whatever it is you're choosing to do, if it is love and light, you are worshiping God. Because the devil, I heard this was something that I wasn't sure about at first, but like I was listening to it and I was like, that makes so much sense. And then I started to learn stuff because the way I learn about things is I want to learn directly from God and no one else because everybody has their path. I understand that. But if God puts that information in my face and I understand it, just like videos, I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. And that helps me because things resonate and some things don't, you know? And so when that was said to me, which I did not say what it was yet, when it was said to me, I was like, I'll think on that because that makes sense. Like it immediately rang to me, and I'm like, that makes sense. The devil is God's biggest soldier. Without the dark, you cannot have the light, which is funny because we try to hide the darkness, but yet then we try to act like the darkness is just everything. It's like one or the other, like tipping the scale and flipping it around. Like what is the scale? We ain't even got one, you know. And that's not good intentions towards yourself. So wear your flaws on the outside. If someone says you're being selfish and you're understanding that you're being selfish, just be like, I understand. But if you are genuinely being selfish because you're doing something for yourself and it needs to be done, I literally was told, don't you think that's kind of selfish? And I'll be like, so? And I just smiled. And that was it. They couldn't blame me. They couldn't blame me. Protect your energy and, you know, learn who God is in your life. For me, it's a lot different. So, how do I say this? Your truth is mine, but my truth is not yours. Does that make sense? Yeah. My truth encompasses all the truths. That is why it is called the truth of the all. However, my truth is not your truth. So if you are a Christian and you read the Bible and you stand by that, that's perfectly fine. That is what you are supposed to be doing. If that is what your soul is feeling called to do. But if you feel like you need to be doing something else, stop holding yourself back because you will not get anywhere in your life without getting outside of your box. But there are people that are meant to do certain things. And when you put those people in power, those are the people that give you good results because they're happy to be there. They're living in their light. They're doing exactly what they need to do. I'm on the fence about this whole worshiping Lucifer thing because that's not for me. I only talk to God, and I do mean God, not his son Jesus. And I wouldn't say that I don't talk to him, but it's just different. It's different. And that's okay, right? But no, his father, our father, my daddy, you know, there is more to that, but we're going to leave that part alone for now. But, you know, if that's what you do, you will be corrected by the Lord in your understanding of why it is that you've done that. Because all of the people that I've met from the Bible, they are all characters that have been in different parts of the world for a reason, like different thoughts. Like I was an atheist and I'm bisexual. Like I'm actually bisexual. I'm not a woman just being like, oh, I like women and stuff. No, I love women. I truly do. But God made sure that I didn't really dive into that too much physically because he knew that I was going to be in love with a boy. And I wanted to have kids one day, which I didn't even know that I necessarily wanted because the logic behind it, I'm sure I'll explain that at some other time. But yeah, if you feel led to the light, know that it is always God. And if you feel led to the light and, you know, some things don't resonate like they used to, clear those things out of your energy and keep going so that you can continue to open your world because there is a whole spiritual community and we all love each other and we don't even know each other. I find it very easy to connect with people that are in the spiritual community, like doing tarot, more than so people that tell me about the Bible, or more so than people that I see on the street in general. I'm not going to be that person or that celebrity or that public figure or anything that's ever going to say I love everybody because I just don't. I don't. I care for everybody in a different way than Maybe someone else would. I'm not a Cancer. Straight up. Though Cancers really throw me off because I don't understand how you can love so much. But I understand how I love. And, caring is a form of love. However, because of the fact that I am an introvert, it's really difficult for me to let people in like that. And in general, because I've been hurt by letting people in, I've always been open to it, but yet I have to meet people that make me feel that way, especially because I've met people that have made me feel like I want to give them everything. So don't get mad if I don't tell you I love you back. So when I say I love you, know that I actually mean it. And that does mean the celebrities' pages that I've been stalking. I'm not a stan. It's just not who I am. Like it's just God. Like it's because I see them as who they are, not as people. Because I don't know, I feel like that's kind of basic. But like I see them as who they are. Stop picking on Doja Cat. She really is an angel. Like she really is. Ariana Grande, an angel. The Weeknd, he probably wouldn't say that he's an angel, but he really he is. Drake, he's doing it up big. Definitely here to be telling people something. And honestly, his lyrics aren't just about making you cry, they bring you closer to the light because he's literally putting his everything out in his lyrics. You cannot go through your life and not give yourself. And you can tell in every lyric that he writes that it's him. I'm not always a fan of some songs, but it's more about the features more than him. I do like a lot of things that Drake is in, like almost everything, to be honest. Who else? Janae Aiko. Janae Aiko is definitely. Uh, I don't want to go on a naming list because if I miss somebody that I know for sure, like I think about, then it's definitely, you know, I don't want them to feel like they're smaller or less than because they know they're not. And, some girl on the camera is not going to make them feel otherwise. But I do want to point those people out because you guys do come after those people and they're like, they worship the Illuminati. And it's like, because I can see their spirit, I can see their souls. Like, you cannot equate success with the Illuminati. You're stupid.